toenails and blistered heels, salt stains streaking down my face. Sun is beating, muscles scream, but I'm moving at my pace. Run the riot! Leave the world behind! Run the riot! You free your body and your mind!
Hey there, my friends. Welcome to this week's midweek motivation from the Run the Riot podcast. Hey guys, glad you're listening. Always appreciate that you guys are, you tune in, you download the podcast and you listen. I know that I'm just another runner guy. I'm just a dad, just a ultra runner, done a few things, but man, I appreciate you guys listening. Appreciate you guys supporting the podcast. And so I do take it seriously that you take a portion of your day, your week to listen to the podcast, to listen to interviews. So hopefully I provide some value for you guys. It means a lot to me that you listen. So if you would, hey, this is on YouTube now. If you want to check out the channel and like and subscribe, I'm supposed to say that. That would be a big help to just getting the channel where it needs to be. But I appreciate you listening. So here's what's on my mind today on Midweek Motivation. I talk a lot about mental, just being mentally strong and having mental resilience. Man, you know, when we're running these crazy races, you have to be physically in shape. You've got to train, but so much of it, you've got to be mentally strong to push through and do some of the things that ultra runners do. I don't remember if it was the first time or second time that I ran Arkansas Traveler, but you know, there's a big out and back section. And I remember seeing Wesley Hunt, who great guy. He's a great guy, but he's also a beast of a runner. I remember him coming the other way. He was in the lead and he was pretty good lead. It was a hot day. And I remember the look on his face. Dude was suffering, but he was still pushing and he was still running. And like to have the mental fortitude, you know, when your body's just screaming, quit, take a break, cool down. And he just kept moving, you know, and you've probably been there before too, in a race where your body wants to quit, but you got a goal in front of you and that's the finish line, you know? And so today I want to talk about that mental toughness, but I want to talk about mental training and why it matters, and maybe just some few nuggets on how to build it and how it can change the way we run and even change the way we live. So real quick, why does mental strength matter? As I said earlier, physical ability isn't enough. Okay, you've got to train the body. You've got to prepare your body to endure the pounding, to run efficiently, to process your nutrition, to have the strength to move for 50K, 50 miles, 100K, 100 miles, 200 miles, whatever it is, you've got to prepare the body. And many runners do that. They prepare their body, but they don't prepare their minds. I can tell you as a coach, we spend a lot of time in the last couple of weeks before a race, you know, usually during taper, discussing the mental aspects of what they're about to go through. Strongest runners don't just have physical endurance, they have resilience. Your mind determines your limits, you know. Your body can often go further than your mind thinks. And it's your mindset that can push you through when you think you've done all you can do and you still go forward, you know, or when your body's telling you to stop and I can't go anymore, but then you do, you know. Henry Ford said, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. And so it's that mindset to know that everything in my body is screaming to stop, but I know I can take another step. I know I can continue on. I know I can achieve my goal. So how do we train our minds for that? How do we get our minds ready for that? Well, a part of it is just in the physical training. When we are physically training ourselves to run an ultra marathon, we're doing long runs. We're pushing our body to some pretty good limits. We're taxing our bodies it's hard. Training should be hard. And then we take a break to recover, and then we train hard again. And in doing that, we're training our mind. We're teaching our mind what our bodies can do, and we're pushing. I would say if you haven't trained where you really wanted to quit or really felt like you had to quit during a training run, then maybe you're not training hard enough, and that's part of my job as a coach, is to help people find those limits without breaking them, pushing and growing and but not breaking during the training. Yeah. And so part of the physical training helps train you mentally to prepare yourself, and you draw upon that during the race. When things get hard, you remember the running you did, the training you did. And when you're doubting right before the race, you think back at all those hard runs that you put yourself through, that you were able to complete, that when you ran in the heat and you suffered, but you got it done. And it's a reminder that I am strong because I've done some things, and now I can do this thing that I'm about to do as this race. And so just in doing that, we're training ourselves mentally to an extent, but also we want to learn and put into practice some mental things. So like, we need to reframe our negative thoughts. Listen, negative thoughts, they're going to creep in. And, when we hear our mind tell us, I can't do this. Yeah, we need to change that. We need to change that. We need to change it to a positive mindset. Like, you know what? I can take one more step. These little small mind shift changes, they'll change how we perform. When we're stuck in the negative, like I can't do this. I can't. Maybe even asking the question, how can I do this? Like, what can I do to keep moving? What can I do to get out of this funk? And so just these little changes along the way. And so we can't entertain that negativity the whole time. When we can't think, man, I can't get to the finish line. I can't run 50 more miles. Yeah, but you can get to the next aid station, or you can get to the next mile, or like I've said before, I can get to that tree over there, or I can just take another step. And you just keep taking those small steps until you're done. So just reframe those negative thoughts. When you think you can't do it, well, what can you do? I can wrap my mind around another step right now, and then another step, and then another step. Then you just do it. I want to talk to you about Magic Mind. I've been doing the Magic Mind 7-day challenge. I actually finished the 7-day challenge, and I want to tell you that this stuff has been a game changer. You've heard me before talk about how I would take it after I eat lunch, just to kind of give me focus in the afternoon, because I always get really sleepy after I eat lunch. And I've been doing it, just taking it daily from the challenge, and I just noticed so much more. I'm so much more on an even keel throughout the day. My stress level is down. My focus is up. It's been good. We live in a world full of distractions, full of stress, full of all these things where people even think they have to be stressed to be a high performer. And I don't think that's true. And that's what Magic Mind was created to help get us mentally healthy and just get us through our days. Listen, it's 100% safe. All the ingredients are third-party tested. I want to encourage you just to try it. Now, listen, this is not a replacement for coffee. Thank God, because I love my coffee, but I call it a coffee enhancer. It's really good. The doctors have validated all the ingredients that are in Magic Mind. And so it's a fantastic thing. And the main flavor is it's matcha, and it's the highest possible grade matcha. It's organic ceremonial grade matcha grown in Japan. That is only from the first harvest every year. How about that? It's good stuff. And listen, for a limited time, you can get 48% off your first subscription or 20% off your first time purchase with the code RTR20 at checkout. And you can claim it at www.magicmind.com/RTR20. That stands for Run the Riot 20, and use the code RTR20 at checkout. Man, I use Magic Mind. I think it could help you too. The other thing is, I used to think this was kind of out there and kind of, I don't know, woo-woo, but visualizing success. Before a race, I try to picture myself getting ready for the race, picture myself at the starting line. I picture myself running the tough miles. And I think Coach Cliff Pittman, really helped me with this when he was coaching me a few years back, but he was talking about like, who's going to show up for the race? When things get tough, who's going to show up? How do you want to represent yourself? which David Terrio is going to show up when things get tough? Is he going to be the one that figures it out, that pushes through? I don't want to be the one that gives up, when I, so when we visualize those things, when we visualize ourselves in the tough miles, when we get there, it feels familiar because we've already done it in our minds. It's like, okay, I've already been here. I've already thought about what I'm going to do, and this is how I'm going to respond. I'm going to continue to push through. I'm going to figure it out. So that visualization, just thinking through the race, visualizing, it just helps strengthen our mental preparedness for it. Now, here's the other thing. This one is hard. Embracing discomfort. Guys, let's face it, man. We like to be comfortable in this day and age. We embrace comfort far more than discomfort, and we like to be comfortable. And there are a lot of people who face very little discomfort, and we sign up for it, And so instead of fearing those hard moments, when they come, just lean into them. Pain isn't always a sign to stop. So listen, sometimes we get injured and pain is a sign to stop. But that extreme discomfort when we run, most of the time, it's not a sign to stop. It's a sign that you're stepping into growth, that you're about to find out about yourself, that you're about to discover who you really are. You're the sponge that's about to get squeezed, and we're going to find out what's inside. Now, it sounds crazy, but it's true. My podcast with Nathan Sitcher, local guy, he said something like, he said he was looking forward to in the 100-miler, like at mile 70, when things just get really tough. And he's like, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. Courtney Dauwalter embodies this. If I've had a conversation with her after Tahoe, and you've seen interviews with her where she looks forward to leaning into that pain cave and discovering more about herself and how much she can push herself and how much she can push through. So man, when it comes, find that, just lean into it. Like, okay, I'm here. I knew I was going to get here because I visualized it, and just lean into that. Like, what am I going to discover about myself? So just make that decision. I'm going to lean into it, and I'm just going to keep going. The other thing is use mantras or positive self-talk. You've heard me say this a million times about, having gratitude and thanking aid station volunteers and encouraging others along the run. But just having a mantra, like a simple, hey, one step at a time, just saying something. Or that stupid one that I used at one of the races: as the miles get longer, I get stronger. As the miles get longer, I get stronger. Find something that speaks to you and use it. I think Scott Jurek, when he was running the Appalachian Trail, his was this is who I am. This is what I do. I like that, man. This is who I am. This is what I do. It's tough. It's hard, but this is who I am. This is what I do. So find something that speaks to you. That's not just in your mind. It speaks to your heart, and have those mantras ready to speak and remind yourself, not false things, like just true things that'll help you to continue to move forward. And then, when we feel like things are out of control, when things are spiraling out of control during a race, which often happens, we need to control the controllables. We can't control the weather. Right now, as I'm recording, it is a literal blizzard here in Oklahoma. It is crazy, and it's going to the wind is blowing, the snow is falling. And I don't know, we've probably got about 4 inches so far, and a lot more to come. I can't control that. I can't control the terrain. The terrain is the terrain. And if it's wet and if it's muddy, I can't control that. I can't control the competition. I can control me. You can control you. And you can control your attitude. You can control your effort. You can control your mindset. Control the controllables. Man, I often discover, like, when things, I start getting negative or down or whatever, that it's often like a problem with my hydration, my electrolytes, my fuel. So I try to problem solve. And there's something to that. When you start trying to, when instead of having despair, you start working toward a solution, you're putting effort toward that. It helps kind of feed it. It helps feed the run. Like, okay, I'm working on it. I'm going to try to fix this problem. Not just woe is me. Life sucks. I'm never going to race again. How many of you have said that? I'm going to start working toward the problem, and I'm going to keep moving forward. And so just be thinking about those things. I don't know how many of you are preparing for a race right now, preparing for, planning out your year, but be thinking about those things and apply those even during your training. During your training, you can be, when your training runs get tough. This is who I am. This is what I do. Let me problem solve. Let me figure out what's going on right now. It's better to get my electrolyte mix now, or my hydration or my nutrition now, get it right now than during the race, and figure those things out. And see, what the cool thing is we do these things during these crazy races that we get out and do, and we put ourselves through suffering, but these mental gymnastics that we have to do to convince ourselves to keep running, man, this applies beyond running. At work, we have challenges and deadlines and tough things. I'm an IT guy, and sometimes I deal with problems, and I'm like, I have done all I know to do, and I can't figure this out. And sometimes I just have to have the right, okay, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to keep moving forward. I'm going to keep working toward a solution. I don't know what you do, but in your work, you need mental toughness. Employees with mental toughness are valued. And so in work, and then in our relationships, man, tough conversations and struggles require patience and a strong mindset. Listen, let's face it. Some people are, I don't know, some people it takes some resilience to deal with, it takes patience. And, some people we get along with really easy, but some people it's work. All right. And so, hey, that mindset that works with people, and then even in our personal goals, we have goals in life, not just in running, and things that we want to do and things we want to accomplish. And life throws a monkey wrench into our plans. And, mental resilience will help us to keep pushing forward, will help us to figure it out when it's tough, And so all that to say, I guess the key takeaway today is mental strength isn't something necessarily that you're born with. I believe it's something that you can train. Just like you're building your endurance in running, build resilience in your mind. This week, when you hit a tough moment in life, when you hit a tough run, tough training run, remind yourself that you are stronger than you think. And in life or in your run, that you've trained for this. You've trained for this. So I want to leave you with a final thought, final quote. Your legs will take you far, but your mind will take you further. That's what I got for you today. Thanks for listening to the Run the Riot podcast. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.